Okay, hi, it's Cheryl from Orb Coaching. I offer three primary coaching services: business, life, and professional business English coaching. I just uploaded a video, or I've just filmed a video on the hop, and I said I'm going to do some case studies and a few scenarios. Whilst I was driving back to go to have my first client, I've got 20 minutes. So I thought, no, I'm going to carry on with the follow-up video of the first one, and I'm going to stick to the same case study. So if you've watched the previous video, this is a continuation. The purpose of doing this is the first video touched on business coaching. This video is going to touch on life coaching, and it includes the same client with the same scenario and how it's affected her differently. So in the previous video I mentioned several things, and one of the things that I mentioned was that we had put an action plan in place. So yes, that's amazing, that's perfect, that's the outcome that we were after in that session, and it facilitated and helped the client to also be in control and to really think about what she wants as well, even after the session. Now, whilst we were in the session, so we did all that, I had mentioned that at the beginning when she came in that I had noticed that her physiology had changed, besides the fact of being overwhelmed, high anxiety, fear, etc. Now we're going into the life coaching side of it. I had asked her what her sleeping pattern is at the moment, to which she disclosed that she hadn't slept in over a week because of this business situation and because of how she was feeling. So although we have an action plan, or hadn't derived an action plan, a feasible one, a manageable one, it wasn't ideal to execute it immediately. I needed my client to rest, to sleep, which she could do after our session because she felt relieved, supported, and so on. So my recommendations were that she gets rested, that she sleeps, she has a family as well, that she takes time out for herself, for her personal relationships, because they had been affected. And this is why it's important to understand that, okay, if you believe that what's going on in one side of your life won't affect the other, I'm happy for you, but for many people it does. They are connected, they are interrelated, and your own mindset and where you are in that space at that moment will affect even other relationships. So this went from affecting professional relationships and the professional future into now the personal and private life of my clients, which created and compounded the distressed feeling that she was having. So I explained to her about the sleep and the rest and how important it is, because she came into session and she had been in an emotional state during that week, and in that at the beginning of the session, the business part of it. So I split it into, had the session, I focused on the business part, and then we focused on the life. So it was incredibly intense, okay? And my client needed time afterwards to breathe, take a break, center herself. Why is it important that you are rested? Well, if you are making decisions in an emotional state, there's a high possibility that you're going to make the wrong decision because you're coming from an emotional place. And depending on the intensity of your situation, that part of the brain could actually be hijacked. I'll go into the technicalities of this in future sessions, okay, of how this affects the brain and the thinking and the neurons, etc. When you are in an emotional state, it is very difficult to think rationally. And if you make a decision or a step forward whilst you're in that emotional state, it can compound the situation further in a negative way. So we're trying to lift up from a negative into a positive, clear the path and move forward. We don't want to retrace, go backwards and put yourself in an even deeper state of anxiety. It's very, very important, okay, because it can be very, very dangerous. So this is the delicacy of situations that come up. Quite often clients won't realize how it's truly affecting other parts of the life until we're actually in this coaching session. Why am I passionate about coaching? Because we deal with what we have at hand, how to seek the resources or tools and to move forward. It's not I'm not doing the psychology part of where you have to go in and start uncovering your inner child, etc. No, there are other professionals who take care of that. My client trusts me. That's a big thing, okay? That there is the trust between the coachee and the coach, that they feel safe. I gave her a very, very safe environment. It's very, very important. And that I am explaining to her the positive effect of sleeping and resting before taking action on the plan that we had derived together. It's intense, okay? Sessions can be intense. It brings out a lot of things that maybe you didn't want to face and a lot of things that you need to actively work on, but you need time to come down from those sessions and feedback and information so that your mind is clear, you are rested, and you can take on the next step. Life coaching came in place because it did have a detriment. It was beginning to have a detrimental effect on my client's personal life, which up until before this business situation occurred, the personal life was very, very good. Personal relationships were very, very good, and now they're becoming strained and damaged and stressed as well. So the business situation created not only stress in the professional life, but also in the personal life. And that can be very, very overwhelming for one individual to carry on their shoulders on their own. Okay. Take note, take care. She was also starting to experience headaches, migraines, which she never had before, and stopped her physical activity. So this part of the session was to focus on rest, sleep, spending or allocating time with the people that are the most important to her in her life, and get back into the physical activity so that she is strong and ready and in the right space to be able to take on the actions for the business part. Okay, so that they can work in tandem and in parallel. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of focus, and it has to be when it gets to an individual reaches this situation, it needs to become a priority in their life. That this is my priority. What am I going to do today that's going to help me work towards this? What should I be doing? And to eradicate any negative habits that have started during this negative sort of business process that's been going on in the background. Yeah. So that's the second side of the session. And yes, I can say that my client is so happy that she is back in the driving seat. And she, on a personal side now, she is really open and really looking forward to this next level of growth for her. So this is how we've totally spun around and turned the situation around. So again, I wish you all a really, really good day. I really do have to shoot off now. I don't want to be late for my clients. Take care of yourselves, and see you in the next video. Ciao, bye bye.